Hey guys, my name is Martin Abel. I'm an illustrator from Tasmania, Australia. Today I wanted to give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes sneak peek into how I go about making content for my Patreon page. So one of the things I do for Patreon is I create a monthly sketchbook, which is a combination of all the artwork that I've done in that month, and I've added notes and info in there as well to kind of describe where my headspace was, my troubles, my triumphs, and everything in between. So I've actually been doing this for about 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years. I've forgotten at this point. But we're on volume 32 right now, so I've been doing it for quite a while. And I guess, well actually, one of my patrons suggested that I make this video, and I thought it was a really great idea, because I think a lot of people probably just don't realize the amount of effort that it does take to create stuff for Patreon. I'll try and make this video somewhat short, but yeah, I hope you appreciate and find this video interesting. And if you do, give it a like and a thumbs up and or a comment, and yeah.
So the first thing we need to do to create a sketchbook is we need to gather our content, and my content is in 2 different places. There's traditional stuff in sketchbooks, but there's also digital work, which is on my iPad. So I start by scanning all the work that I've got in my sketchbooks that month, and usually that's in one sketchbook. At the moment I'm working in 2, and as you can see at the moment I'm scanning my watercolor sketchbook. And it actually helps to, and this looks kind of funny, but put something heavy on top just to weigh down the scanner, and so you get a clean, flat scan of your artwork. And I'm using an Epson Perfection scanner. It's pretty good. I would recommend it. So as for digital work, I just go into my iPad and I go through everything that I've got for that month and airdrop that to my iMac, which is a really quick, fast, easy way to send my digital work. And basically I arrange it in a way so I have a folder of all my collected artwork, and then another folder window which has all the pages that they're going to go into. So on the left is the content, on the right are the pages. And I also kind of like to group the content as well into relevance, so that when I'm going back to that folder I can pull it in really quickly. The templates I've got are pretty basic. It's got some bleed on there, and it's a work in progress really. So what you can do is just basically go to your content folder and drag and drop your artwork in. And the great thing about that is that when you drag in a file, it comes in as an object which is not rasterized, so you can scale it down and then later on scale it up, and it's not going to lose quality because you haven't rasterized it. So that's always helpful. And it's a bit of trial and error to get things working on the page. It means you need to move things around a little bit. In our traditional stuff, the scanned images are a little bit trickier than the digital work because they require masking. Because I could just, scan a sketchbook page and give it to you as is, but I feel like that's not always a great look. Sometimes the pages aren't quite finished, or they're messy and dirty. So I like to cut out the drawings and arrange them in a visually pleasing way, and that way I can add text and everything just looks better. So this is one of the things that just takes most of the time to design, but I think it's worthwhile. I kind of use a little Wacom Intuos as well. I actually bought that for Jamie, but she doesn't want to use it, so I thought, well, I'm going to steal this just to make my sketchbook designing a little bit quicker. So then we have text. Now, with adding text, I have to really get into a bit of a zen with trying to make sure that I've got rid of all my distractions. You know, I can't have a lot of music playing or, you know, Netflix on. I have to really just focus on and think about what I'm going to write and try and put my headspace back into when I was drawing the artwork that's on the page and see if I can come up with something interesting to say about it. Sometimes that is really difficult, but thankfully, you know, the last year of sketchbooks, I've really had no problem with trying to figure out things to say, which has been really good. The other thing is with your sketches, well, with my sketches, I like to add a white background. It just makes them pop from the actual template's background. And that is also another bit of a time-consuming thing to do, but I think it's also kind of just worth it in the end because it just looks better. It looks like a more finished, well-designed, hopefully, sketchbook. So all of these things just take a lot of time, and usually I probably take like 2 full days just to design the sketchbook, sometimes longer. But then Jamie takes charge, my partner in crime. She takes what I've designed, she fixes it, she edits it, she puts it into InDesign and sends it off to our printer, where we do a limited number of prints. So we print about 40 of each volume, and they go to our awesome patrons. And yeah, so basically when we get that, we just have to double check that everything looks good, and then it's time to sign them. Now the signing part doesn't really take too long because there's only 40 of them, so we number them 1 out of 40, give it a bit of a signature, and then put on a little special limited edition sticker seal, which is always fun to do. So after I've done all the signing, I then pass it on to Jamie, who does the binding. So she binds the cover to the interior pages, and she used to do this via hand stitching, which was quite time consuming. So while it was really cool, we kind of had to cut back and go back to traditional stapling. But that seems to do the job fine. We then put it into a plastic sleeve, pop it into a hard case envelope, and yeah, we ship these all around the world to our patrons, who are just amazing for supporting us. So that's it, guys. You've come to the end of the video. I hope you found this little behind the scenes video kind of interesting. If you have liked it, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe when you see this on YouTube, and let me know what you think. I probably could have gone a little bit more in depth in some areas, but I didn't want the video to be too long, really. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a snippet into what goes into making stuff for Patreon. So thanks so much, guys, and a massive shout out to all my patrons. You guys are the bomb. You're the best. I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.